Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing basketball.
Basketball. Here's our hosts, Steve Collins. And Bill Flitter.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Yes, I am still alive. I'm still going to be back onto the podcast, but this is episode 2 of Coach Bill's conversation with Coach Charles. They explore the effective way to teach drills to maximize retention so you can remember it. They're going to talk about the Blitz offense. They're going to talk about coaching youth hoops, which both of those I'll put down below. But I wanted to tell you, I am alive, and I will be back to regular scheduled programming soon. So off to the podcast.
Yeah. Go ahead.
As you're teaching, so how do you usually, like, this looks like a nice offense and you get something good to try. When you're teaching something like this, do you just kind of walk through it slowly, or do you try to add in a defense, or how do you typically try to implement a new offense?
I won't start it off with defense. We'll just set it up in I do teach it kind of, here's not everything. Well, here's the basic structure, and then we break it down, and then we add defense at that point. So for example, what I mean is we'll start on 5-on-0 and just get those down screens going, ball handoffs moving, and that, then they start to get how, the pattern. The other thing is I'll show them pictures. So they'll see this. All my players have the playbook. I don't expect, I would love for them to all go in. I know they don't. But it's there. And I bring out, printouts so they can visually see it as well. Mm-hmm. All right. So then we walk through it, and then you can see every play has notes. They can read it. Right. And what I love to do is then, even at the 5th grade level, is have, this is you pick your person that you think, gets the offense, maybe your higher IQ basketball player, to repeat it. So it's peer-to-peer teaching. And then that last phase, peer-to-peer teaching, because they'll talk in their own words, right, to their peers. And that helps a lot as well. And if you go to, actually, it's kind of funny you bring that up, because another thing, I was getting a little frustrated in bringing this URL up for you, and I'll put it in the show notes of the podcast as well. But it's like, what am I missing? Why aren't players remembering plays? And this is really simple. It's not like it's very complex, the defense, really. Just down screen, come up the down screen, get a ball handoff, and then do it on the other side if you can't drive, right? Like, okay, and I don't blame it on them. I blame it on the way I was teaching, right? Anything. So I would dove into, like, okay, how do kids remember things, and how do you teach things, right? In something like this. So if you, here, I'll pop this in our chat. And like I said, I will put this in the show notes. But if you go to this URL, you can download this PDF. And I walk through the 7 steps of how to teach drills. And it's something I've been doing now, and it seems to be working really well. It's just taken me a while to figure it out. So, but I figured, you know what? I'm sure I can't be the only one that's struggling with this, and I know I'm not after seeing what's on the Facebook group.
Yeah, we have that situation. Just we'll go through it in practice and kind of get it down. Then once we get into the game, we kind of completely forgot what we did.
Yeah, and that happens too, right? Kids are under pressure, and then just like any of us would be, right? Kind of panic and then forget what we're supposed to do. But that I think that the 7 steps should kind of help you. Some kids are more visual learners, right? They actually need to see it. I use Basketball Play Creator to create the plays. So everything's animated, so they can actually see the animations too and things going around.
Sure.
But what I found is kind of that last step where I have one of my better players explaining it. And I hear that at the end of our huddle is because we do this wrap up at the end of our practices. And a lot of times the comment is, I want to give a shout out. This is the kids talking to one another. I want to give a shout out to X player because she helped me walk through the play today because I couldn't remember what to do. And that's exactly what you want to encourage.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I'll definitely give that a shot.
What you're seeing on the screen too, I think this is important to point out, is sometimes for example, 3 is coming up for the ball handoff. And 3's defender will get in between, right? Mm-hmm. So what we have, we call this messy keeper. What we have is 1 just opens up to the basket, because right now they're doing a ball handoff, and then they open up towards the basket now, and 3 comes right off of their shoulder, and they're always open because 1, as they're spinning, acts as a quasi screener, and X3 always ends up behind. And you throw it ahead and you're wide open for a layup.
Okay.
So it works really well too. Again, it's called messy keeper. But yeah, and again, I feel your pain, coach. I've been through it for multiple years, at different levels. And I just wanted something, with 2 hours of practice that also works against the zone. Right, because you don't have a lot of time. Then you got to do your zone offense and then your man offense. It's not enough time to get 2 different types of offenses in there, and then you expect them to try to remember it, right? And then you get frustrated why aren't you overloading against the zone? We worked on this in practice. Yeah, you did it for 10 minutes, right, in one practice session. So, yeah.
That's part of the problem, is just not having enough time to practice it. But we have other activities, and I want them doing other activities, so I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. What else can I answer for you? I hope that was helpful. Not that I want you to implement a new offense all of a sudden, but I think what the reason I get excited talking about the Blitz Attack is just because I've been there and I struggled with the same struggles that you're having, and until I sat down and really just pondered over it, like, how can I open up the middle? At least my girls can get into you have a shot at doing a layup, right? Because I know we're not really good shooters. Had all this ball watching on the weak side. They're not knowing what to do or even remember what to do. Well, what if I do kind of this motion hybrid, kind of zoom action hybrid situation? And we started tweaking it and running it, and the kids picked it up really quickly. Like I said, literally within the first hour of practice, we had it, and then we broke it down. And that was the other thing I was going to share with you. We do then breakdown drills, like some of these. They're further back here in this PDF, but we have a bunch of breakdown drills that we then use. There's also plays. That's what you're seeing here. Some plays and quick hitters. Again, that's more advanced. as you build on the offense itself. And all the blobs, sideline out of bounds plays, they all eventually go back into the offense. So you're right back into it. But what I was going to show you here is, so here's a good example, right? This is just a breakdown drill that we do. Just we're practicing the ball handoffs, practicing the rolls to the basket. These are just one-on-one drills. We have a whole series of things that we do on a daily basis called the daily vitamins. And those are moves that you might do in this offense. And we practice those every day, right? But let me see. Yeah, so here's a good set of 2v2 reads, right? So just simple ball handoff. They don't even have the screener, right? Just working on ball handoffs and coming off the ball handoff. What does the defense do, right? And try to get around that corner. There's several options there. Now we have a 3 versus 3 situation, right? Down screens, and then so we just layer it, right, to work on it. And the biggest thing I would say that I added, fairly recently was teaching the weak side what to do. And again, let me go back. That weak side, the most crucial thing they have to do is wait. So talking about ball watching, right? We're kind of, it's like, yeah, ball watch for a second. And if you see that your player can't get around the corner, then you do a stampede cut right towards them to get that ball handoff, right? And what that does is, it's kind of funny, the reaction of the defenders when they're down in that corner, because you kind of freeze them. Like, what is this? What is my player doing? What is she going to do? And they just don't know. And then boom, all of a sudden you just take off because you're watching your teammate from the other side. And I'll have to be honest, they didn't struggle with that concept. I wasn't sure how they were going to grasp that wait period. And then, gosh, when do I come up? It's like, hey, they came up as soon as they saw their player couldn't get around the corner for a drive, they came up and got the ball handoff. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that let's see, it was going to show you, but I think you can probably visualize what I was kind of speaking in that I showed you earlier, is that patience in the corner.
Do you practice getting into this in transition?
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a good question. Absolutely.
I think we have some missed opportunities on transition because we have a couple quick girls who could get down the court quickly, but then when we try to get into an offense, it's always super slow process, and defense gets set and kind of lose some momentum.
Yeah, we get right into it. So this kind of speaks to it a little bit. This is our press break. It doesn't depict it exactly. Let me see if I have a better picture for you. But yeah, it gets right into it. So we go, let me see if it's here. Oh yeah, right here. So kind of this is our fast break, or if we're getting the press. So, but this is a good, I guess, illustration. So what we do is we teach our players to run wide. So 2 and 2 with the ball handler having freedom to go up the middle. Okay. First look is always, hey, can our 1 just take it all the way? If not, then what happens is the first person, in this case 2, the first person down goes to the corner. Okay. And I can actually pop that up a little bit. 2 goes right to the corner. 4 is the wing person who then goes, obviously this is running fast. So they go right into set a down screen on 2, start the ball handoffs and see what happens at that point. And of course, 5 and 3, depending on their speed, they're also getting into that down screen situation on the other side. And then we're right into that offense.
You say the 5 always goes to this side and the 4 always goes to this side? Or...
I don't. I used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's one of those things that I don't. I mean, I don't do it anymore. I did, but what I found that to also be confusing. Oh, 5. I'm the 5 today, and then I go over on this side,
girls in and out, and they change numbers.
Exactly right. So I'm just like, okay, so a lot of times, and this perfect question is, you might have 3 girls over here I'm actually okay with that. Then what we work on is if there's 3 over here, then one has to cut across behind the ball handler, right, to go set the down screen on the opposite side. And then we work on the ball handler. Man, if you only see one on one side, you try to look and turn the corner and go in for a basket. Or if you can't make it, then start the offense on the other side. So that seems to work really well. It's less remembering what side I need to be on. They know that they need to go 2 and 2 and get right into the offense. And we have, let's see if I have the drills. Do I have the drills in here? I don't know if I have the drills in here, but I should.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
That's your money saying it's time for a McDonald's run. Because with new McValue at McDonald's, you get more than you expect. Like buy a 6-piece McNuggets and add a McChicken for just $1. Your money says let's go. Get more than you expect with new McValue. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value.
Anyway, I have drills for that as well. That's one of the first drills we do at practice. To start practice is I have everybody under the basket in a circle, and they're going around in a circle. It's 5-on-0, right? I've had defense in there once in a while, but 5-on-0, right? I either, if I make the basket, I'm the shooter. So if I make it, right, they take it out and work on our out of bounds and quickly getting it out and up the court and then into our fast break. If I miss it, then they just run it as a fast break. So we work on one or my second best ball handler. They know who that is by now, because again, it's something we talk about. They come and get the ball, and everybody's down the court into the fast break. They split up, 2, go down, set the screens, and go. And that way, right, like a start of practice, it also just gets them running, right,
Sure.
and moving, and yeah, we just get right into it. So I think in this booklet though, I think that is in there. If not, it's a really good thing I need to add. We do a 4-on-4 continuous that kind of talks to that as well. It's a really nice drill. But anyway, that's one of the drills that we do to get right into the offense, and that's something we work on a daily basis to help them know what spots to go in. Again, I've done it with 4th and or 5th graders up, so I know that it works definitely at that age level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's definitely worth a look at.
Because I think that the biggest thing is keeping it simple, right? Keeping it simple for them and having some basic, this is what I do. This is what I do in transition offense. This is what I do in the out of bounds play. They all know that it's pretty interesting how the light bulb goes on when you tell them like your baseline out of bounds play connects right into your offense, and you show that visually and then demonstrate it on the court. And it's like, aha, right? You see the light bulb go on, how that connects together. And that's what I love, right? I love seeing that, because then they're starting to get the conceptually understanding things, and that's what you need them to understand you can see here, this is one of our this is one we run a lot in out of bounds play. Do I have the continuity on I don't have the continuity on this one, but it goes right back into our offense. So it works pretty seamlessly together.
Sure. Yeah, something we can work on is transitioning from like an out of bounds play to the offense, or transitioning into offense, and trying to make that more seamless.
But at the end of the day, I always tell them, I'm like, why do we run plays, right? And why do we run a baseline out of bounds play? Why do we even run an offense? And it's really so I know where my other teammates are supposed to be, right? And especially for the inbounds plays, I said if the defender falls asleep and you're right underneath the basket, do you have to run a play? I'm like, you don't have to run a play, just get the ball in and shoot it, right?
Right.
I said plays are just there, they're designed so we can trick the defense. And so you know exactly where your other players are going, so you don't run into one another. Right.
Right.
So, that's a level of understanding that I think is important to explain to them as well. Because sometimes they'll freeze, right? Like, where was I supposed to go? And they'll just stop and be in the way, right?
Yeah, we'll get that sometimes on an out of bounds play. Maybe the girl's defender forgot where they were, so they'll just give her the ball, shoot the ball, but they're like, no, we got to run our play.
Right. They're standing right in front of the basket,
Yeah.
right in front of the out of bounds person. No, I got to run the play. Like,
Right.
no, yeah. And you're yelling, she's open, hand it to her. Right? Yeah, totally. That's kids that are learning. They're learning. We just have to have patience.
Yep.
Anything else I can help with? Hopefully that was, I mean, again, I think the best thing is just to come up with something that, however you teach it, just make it really simple for them to understand and download that PDF that I just shared too, because I think that'll be very helpful in understanding how to teach drills so players remember a little bit more. I'm pretty excited about doing it for my third grade team too, and coming up with even simpler diagrams for them to grasp, right?
Right.
I didn't design these for third graders, but but I will. So I think that'll be beneficial for them. So just seeing pictures, right?
Yeah, I can definitely use some more visuals. I think some of them are, you never know who's a visual learner, so that would be a good thing to implement.
Yeah, exactly. Do you ever show game film? Do you take game film? I know it's fifth grade, but
Yeah, we don't. I don't know if any parents are taking full game videos, but yeah, we should do that just to show them what they're doing.
Yeah. I'm testing Game Changer today, actually. They have a newish basketball app that. Are you familiar with Huddle for high school?
I've heard of
above?
Huddle for high school. We use Game Changer for our softball team.
Yeah, exactly. That's their bread and butter was baseball, right? So did I,
Yeah.
right? Now they have an app for basketball.
I wouldn't mind having like some stats just to kind of show our girls when they're improving, but I'm sure it'd be kind of overkill. We don't really have somebody who would be able to take stats during the game.
Well, that's what this new Game Changer app, I'm just from what I've read so far, and they gave me a demo. You just shoot the film like you would in Huddle. It gives you some basic stats. So we'll see how it is, but it gives you some basic stats on rebounds, and I forget the other things that they're using, but yeah. But that's that it's just and the way it has the app where you just set your phone up on a tripod, and from what I understand, you don't need an oscillating one. You do it so you can get a picture of the entire court, and they have this image that is overlaid once you have all four corners down of the court. It looks pretty cool, and I'm testing it. Yeah.
Huh.
It's just something I think that would work at like Huddle obviously is, I mean, unless you have a big AAU program and you're not going to invest in that, it's really expensive. Good program though, but expensive for this level. Just something to think about.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Hopefully that was helpful. Any other questions you might have, not even if it's not related to this, that I can help you with while I have you?
No, that was kind of my main question. I wanted to bounce off of you, just kind of running an offense and how to get them moving more without the ball and just make something happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I should have asked too on the defensive side. Well, are they are they playing also like a tight man-to-man or a gap defense? What are you seeing? Denial
Um,
defense, a little bit of
it
both.
depends on the skill of the team.
Mm,
Some girls, are just kind of right up against them, just playing man to man.
yeah,
Some of the teams will be more well coached and have some help defense.
have some,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
it depends on the team, I guess.
yeah. hmm Yeah, that even if, a lot of times, some of the feedback I get is, well, what about if they're playing gap defense and they're really tight to the block? Doesn't matter, right? Still set
Hmm.
that down screen. Actually gives you a better advantage coming off of it because they're yelling switch
Hmm.
anyway, right? So you actually create some good gaps and then you have that high-low right underneath the basket, right? So,
Sure.
and you just got to I understand you got to get the players to read that high-low situation, but when it happens a lot, right? And you can say, you can yell something out, high-low, right? As well, just so oh yeah, okay, I got to look for that the next time. And we miss it, it happens. I'm just like, because, the question is, I always get, well, coach, what if we miss it? I'm like, next play, just
Right.
continue, right? Just go,
Just
just
keep
play,
moving. Somebody
just keep
else will get
moving.
open.
Yeah. And what as too, we don't have a shot clock. So, like, literally, we have to shoot the ball once and make it, and we can win, right? Of course, they don't do that. But what I'm trying to convey to them is just be patient. It's going to open up. Don't force it, right? Just let it flow and because the opposite or the defense also is going to be impatient. And they're
Right.
going to start cheating and they're going to start, right? Because they're like, this is ridiculous. I'm just running back and forth. I'm just going to steal the ball. And then boom, there's your opportunity.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't run into that too much where they're kind of packing the lane. Um, but yeah,
So you
something to
do,
consider.
yes, you have some driving lanes then potentially if you keep them moving.
Right. And
Yeah.
like to keep them spaced out so that way some of our quicker
That's
guards
right.
can try and attack the lane. But
Yeah.
I think just more practice and more experience. I think they'll start to
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. Oh, are you practicing finishing moves as well a lot?
A little bit. I mean, we'll do some like layup stuff and do a move or maybe a two-footed layup, but not a whole lot. I'd like to do more
Hmm
of that. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's one of the
or maybe
things that
like
we
a
do a
contested
lot.
layup. Yeah.
Hmm Yeah, one thing to look at, we call them peek and pivots, that has really helped us is they're driving in the lane. Villanova does it really well. Um, Driving in the lane, two-footed stop, right, and then peek. Can I get a shot up? No, and then I'm doing my pivots, my up and unders, and all of that. If it's not there, then I just
Mhm.
kick it out and we go from there. But versus what I've saw a lot of times was forcing a shot that wasn't there,
Mhm.
um, kind of this straddle stop and then twisted throw to somebody behind you and they're passing off to their side, right?
Hey,
We practice it every day, every practice. I mean, there's two-footed stop. We call them peak and pivots, like I said. So
right.
just start incorporating that in there because no matter what you do, right, no matter what offense you do, you're going to need finishing moves. If it's floaters. If it's a peek and pivot, if it's some sort of, I teach my players not to stop their dribble. They all want to go to the corner, right? Because
Mhm.
there's open space there, and then they're like,
Right.
"Oh shoot, what do I do?" It's like then they pick up the ball and then, ugh, right? Well, I
Yeah.
teach them not to stop, right, and just come out the other side if it's there or up the lane, kind of the Nash moves. So it's something else and just practice those moves. That's sort of one of the things that I found too. It's like no matter what offense I come up with, they still got to be able to finish. Great. Yeah, we're all looking for that wide open, nobody on me. I'm just going to do a layup. That's awesome. But you know how many times that happens in a game, right?
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
So some sort of contested layups, and mix it up a lot. And then you'll just find that your offense will start opening up.
Right. Yeah. Give them some more tools and they realize they can do more things, finishing and
Yeah, I keep
packaging
it
and all
really
that stuff.
simple. Like I said, we do the same ones every day. We just do
Yeah.
some, and then it starts to get like, oh, okay, in this situation, I'm going to use a floater. In this situation, I'm going to do, right, two-footed stop and pivots, right? Uh,
Sure.
And they start texting me now. I have this is 7th and 8th grade girls. They'll text me and they'll send me clips. Like, coach, look at this. This is a peek and pivot, that they came across on their Instagram channel, right? It's like the perfect example.
Yeah,
right?
I'll get the algorithms bring me a bunch of that stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sometimes I wish some of the girls would see some of the stuff that I get, but
I know. I wish they watched a little bit more basketball. And it's crazy. The girls that do watch basketball, it helps. Their IQ is right up there, right? And you got to have a love and a passion for it, sit through a game, I suppose. But
right.
The other thing to think about that I've been really working on testing too, is, and I talked about this in the previous podcast, was gamification. Get them excited, bring joy, right? Reward, trivial points to free throws in a game, or you have two teams and you're kind of battling. That actually increases the competitiveness in there. Have a consequence at the end if you lose. I mean, you can just think about, look at all your drills you do and think, okay, how can I gamify this, right? Obviously, when you're introducing stuff a little bit different, but we have shot charts that we do, for practice as well. So we have a lot of different things that we try to gamify practice as much as possible. Doesn't always work completely, and I need to do a better job of it. But I find it brings out the competitive side, and more so on the girls' side. Like the boys generally have it. They want to hit each other and push and shove, and the girls are like, oh, I don't know if I can touch. Is this a foul, right? So they don't get into it that much. But if you give them a reason to, then they really start battling it out, and teaches them that basketball is a contact sport.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate your time. If you have any other questions, absolutely follow up. And coaches out there, I hope you found this to be helpful. Coach Charles, again, thank you so much, and good luck. Keep me up to date on what's going on with the team. I would appreciate that. And when you win your tournament next week, send me a picture with the rings.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, sir. Take care.
All right. Yeah. Thanks so much.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.